Maybe you've asked yourself this quietly late at night. If we all die in the end, then what's the point of living? It's a heavy thought, I know, and it's okay to feel that weight. A long time ago, over 2,500 years, there was a man, Prince Siddhartha, who faced that same question. He grew up protected inside palace walls, where life was soft and predictable. And then one day, he saw things that shook him. An old man, fragile and bent. A sick person, struggling and helpless. And finally, a corpse, still and silent. That sight, it may have broken something in him, but also opened something. He realized, just like we do, that death comes for everyone. And yet, instead of turning away, he decided to look deeper, to search for something real, something that could make life matter even with the certainty of death. Maybe that's why we feel drawn to these stories. We want reassurance, a little warmth, a quiet answer that life is not meaningless. Philosophers and thinkers across time, from Camus to Marcus Aurelius, felt it too. They noticed that thinking about death can make life feel absurd, heavy, but it can also make us live with more care, maybe even more tenderness. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself gently, you could leave life right now, not to scare himself, but to wake himself up, to live kindly, to notice what's important. The Buddha noticed it too, and he whispered it softly to anyone willing to listen, remembering that life is short isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up. When we know our time is limited, maybe we stop holding grudges. Maybe we stop chasing things that don't really feed our hearts. Maybe we begin to notice what truly matters. The small acts of kindness, the quiet moments of care, the tiny choices that make life gentler. It's okay if it feels slow. It's okay if it's messy. Every little step counts. And so, knowing that life ends doesn't make life less important. It may make it more precious. Every day becomes a chance to be gentle, to be awake, to share a little warmth with someone else. The Buddha's journey began with facing death, and from that, he found a truth that whispers across centuries. Life, even short and fragile, can be full of meaning. Maybe you can take a deep breath now and just let that sink in. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to rush. Each moment, each choice can matter more than we think. And if you want to walk through these reflections with me, maybe hear more whispers about life and living fully, it would be wonderful if you'd subscribe, just so we can explore together, slowly, gently, without hurry. Maybe you've wondered sometimes, why are we even here? What's the point of all this? It's okay to feel that way. The Buddha didn't hand out a one-line answer, like a quick recipe. He didn't say, here's the meaning of life, take it and go. Maybe it's because life isn't something you can capture in a sentence. Maybe it's more like walking a path, one step at a time, noticing the ground beneath your feet. What he did say was simple. Life is full of suffering, and maybe there's a way to end it. At first, that may sound dark. Suffering? Who wants to think about that? But maybe it's okay to look at it softly, without fear, because seeing suffering clearly can be a way to live more gently. The Buddha noticed something about all of us. We all want happiness, and we chase it, sometimes in ways that just don't last. We cling to things, money, achievements, relationships, like they can stay forever, and maybe they can't. And when we cling, it can turn into pain. He called it dukkha. Maybe you can think of it as the quiet unease that follows us sometimes, the tension we feel when things don't stay the way we want. But here's the gentle part. He also showed that suffering has a cause, and maybe it can end, and he gave a path, step by step, that anyone can walk. Think of it like a doctor who first points out what hurts, and then gives medicine to help heal. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to give direction. And each small step we take, letting go of greed, letting go of anger, learning to be a little wiser, a little kinder, can slowly make life more meaningful. Maybe you've noticed it too in others. Philosophers like Schopenhauer saw the human desire never ends and that chasing it can hurt us. But he stopped there at despair. The Buddha, maybe quietly, said, "No, there's a way forward. You don't have to reject life. You can live it mindfully, kindly, gently." He reminded us softly, everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. Maybe if we see this clearly, we can start to let go of the things that harm us, and life can feel lighter. And maybe, just maybe, that's what meaning is. Not something far away, not some prize to win someday. Meaning can be found in each gentle act, each moment of understanding, each time we choose kindness over selfishness, patience over irritation. Awakening or enlightenment isn't about becoming someone else. It's about waking up, seeing clearly, and living with a little more light in your heart. Even one moment of insight, one moment of real care, can be more meaningful than a lifetime of empty busyness. And maybe it's okay if life feels slow. Maybe it's okay if we stumble. The point is the small steps, the soft touches of goodness we leave behind, the quiet awareness we carry in our hearts. Even when the world feels heavy, even when life feels fleeting, each step toward understanding, each small act of compassion matters. And if you feel like walking a little further down this path, maybe listening to these stories with someone who whispers them softly, it's okay to subscribe and stay with me. There's no rush, no pressure, just a gentle journey together, noticing life a little more fully. Maybe you caught yourself thinking, okay, I get it, suffering is real, but if I'm just an ordinary person with work, family, bills, and worries, does any of this really matter? And you know what? It's okay to ask that. Most of us aren't saints or monks or someone who spends all day meditating. Most of us are just living, struggling, trying, failing, trying again. And the Buddha's answer to that is gentle. He would say, softly, yes, your life matters. Even these small, ordinary steps you take have meaning. Maybe it's easier to see in little ways. In the Theravada tradition, common in Southeast Asia, the focus for everyday people isn't to reach some faraway peak of enlightenment immediately. It's about simple acts, kindness, generosity, honesty, care for others. Every small act creates a ripple. Maybe it doesn't feel grand, but it matters. It builds something inside you, and it helps someone else along the way. Even if you've never climbed the whole mountain a day, each step upward counts. In Mahayana Buddhism, found in places like China, Japan, Vietnam, and Tibet, there's another soft whisper of hope. Everyone has a potential to awaken. And maybe, even in this very life, it's possible. The Bodhisattva path talks about people who dedicate themselves to helping others awaken, even if they themselves haven't fully arrived yet. Maybe that's you, maybe that's me. Even a small act of care, helping a neighbor, listening to a friend, being patient with a child, can carry deep meaning. A life doesn't have to be perfect to be valuable. It's the love and attention we put into it, moment by moment, that counts. And it's not just Buddhism that notices this. 𝐂𝐴, Confucius, and other wise voices across history have said something similar. Life gains its value in the everyday, the way we live with care, the way we show love, the way we serve. Maybe washing the dishes or brewing tea or tucking your child into bed can be sacred if we notice it, if we do it with presence. Thich Nhat Hanh often whispered this. Mindfulness turns ordinary moments into something gentle, something meaningful. Maybe you've worried, If I never become a Buddha, then what's the point of all this? And it's okay to feel that fear. But the Buddha would gently remind you, the seed of awakening is in everyone. It grows at its own pace. Every time you choose patience instead of anger, compassion instead of selfishness, awareness instead of distraction, you water that seed. No effort is ever wasted. And even if you don't see it immediately, the ripples reach farther than you think. Life's meaning isn't about fame or wealth or big accomplishments. It's about goodness. It's about simple human things: care, honesty, love, attention. A quiet life, lived with awareness, can be full of value. And maybe that's what makes it sacred. Maybe the big meaning isn't somewhere out there. It's here, in the way you breathe, the way you notice, the way you care right now. And if you feel like walking a little further with these whispers, exploring life quietly, softly, it might be nice to subscribe and come along. There's no hurry, just gentle steps, noticing the small light in yourself and others, and letting it grow a little every day. Maybe sometimes life feels heavy and you think, what if I never reach enlightenment? What if all my efforts don't matter? And it's okay to feel that. Most of us are just trying to live, doing the best we can with the little time we have. And the Buddha's teaching is gentle here too. Even ordinary lives have meaning. Even small acts of kindness, patience, or attention matter more than we often realize. Think of it like planting a garden. Maybe you won't see the flowers bloom today. Maybe not even this year. But each time you water the seed, each time you pull a weed, each time you care for soil, you're creating conditions for life to grow. Life is much like that. Every moment you choose compassion over selfishness, awareness over distraction, love over indifference, you're tending a garden in your heart and in someone else's. Maybe you've noticed how even small gestures ripple outward. A smile to a stranger, listening patiently to a friend, helping someone without expecting anything back. These moments create quiet waves of meaning. The Bodhisattva path in Mahayana Buddhism speaks about dedicating your life to helping others awaken, even if you yourself are still learning. You don't have to be perfect to make a difference. Just being present, just doing what you can, is enough. Even ordinary tasks can be sacred if we pay attention. Washing the dishes, brewing tea, folding laundry. If done mindfully, they become acts of care, moments where life itself is honored. Maybe that's what Thich Nhat Hanh wanted to remind us. The sacred isn't only in grand gestures. It's in noticing, in presence, in the gentle attention we give to what's right in front of us. And maybe life is like a story. Even if this chapter doesn't end with full awakening, it's still precious. Every choice, every small act of care, every moment of awareness adds light to your own path and to the world around you. No life is wasted. No effort is too small. Even a single gentle action can carry far beyond what we see. So maybe it's okay to slow down. Maybe it's okay to be imperfect. Maybe the meaning of life isn't something you have to chase. Maybe it's here, in the quiet moments, in the care you offer, in the attention you bring to the ordinary. And if you want to walk this gentle path together, listening to these reflections, noticing life softly, it might be nice to subscribe. We can explore it slowly, step by step, without pressure, without hurry, just noticing the quiet light that's always there. Maybe sometimes you look around and think, life is so short, does anything really last? And it's okay to feel that. We all notice that everything changes. People age, relationships shift, jobs come and go. Even the things we hold most dear are temporary. And it's okay to let that sink in slowly. The Buddha didn't want us to despair over this. He just wanted us to notice it gently, like a soft breeze brushing our skin. He called it the middle way, a path that avoids extremes. One extreme is thinking everything is permanent. That meaning has to come from some unchanging outside thing. The other is thinking nothing matters at all, because life ends. Both extremes can feel heavy, maybe even hopeless. The middle way whispers that there's another way. Things may not last forever, but they aren't nothing. They matter because they touch one another, because our choices ripple outward, even in small ways. Maybe you felt this yourself. A kind word, a smile, a helping hand. They may seem tiny, but they can change a day or a life in ways you can't even see. That's the natural law of karma, softly at work. Not punishment, not reward from above, just the quiet truth that kindness brings peace and harm brings pain. So even though life is short, each choice matters. Each small act shapes the world, shapes the people around us, and shapes the person we are becoming. It's okay if it feels subtle, if the effects are not immediate. Maybe the quiet ripples matter most. A single moment of patience with a loved one, a gentle word to a friend, a tiny gesture of care. They matter. They are the meaning that grows slowly, like seeds in soil, and they reach farther than we often notice. The middle way reminds us, life is short, yes, but it is precious. It asks us to see clearly, to act kindly, to take responsibility for our own hearts. And maybe that's enough. Maybe living with awareness, choosing compassion whenever we can, noticing the impermanence of everything without fear. That is the path. And if you want, we can walk this path together. You can subscribe, not to rush, not to achieve anything grand all at once, but to share gentle moments, quiet reflections, little lights that remind us life is meaningful, even in its simplicity. Maybe sometimes you feel like life is just passing by and you wonder, does why do even matter? And it's okay to feel that. Most of us live quietly, doing small things, caring for our families, showing up for work, helping in tiny ways. And the Buddha would say softly, yes, it matters. Every small act carries meaning, even if it feels ordinary or unnoticed. Life isn't only about reaching some distant goal. It's about how we live each moment. Maybe you've noticed that when you pay attention, even simple things can feel meaningful. Drinking a cup of tea with awareness, listening carefully to someone who needs to be heard, taking a breath before reacting in anger. These small acts like threads, weaving meaning quietly through your day. Buddhism teaches that we all carry a seed of awakening. Maybe you can think of it like a tiny flame, waiting for attention to grow. Each time you act with patience, compassion, or care, you water that seed. Each time you notice your own heart, gently, without judgment, you help it grow. Nothing is wasted. Even small efforts matter more than we realize. Maybe you've also noticed how suffering can shape us. It's not pleasant, but it can wake us up. When we face difficulty, even softly, maybe it nudges us to see what truly matters: connection, love, care, awareness. And when we act from that place, even the smallest choices carry weight. Maybe holding the door for someone, offering a smile, forgiving a quiet mistake. These are the ripples that matter. And it's okay if it feels slow. It's okay if the results aren't visible. Life is a long, gentle unfolding. Even one act of goodness can brighten the world, even in small ways, even for just one moment. Maybe that's what the Buddha meant when he spoke about karma. Not punishment, not reward, just the truth that what we do affects ourselves and others. So maybe today you can take a quiet breath and notice one small way you can act kindly, gently, fully. Maybe it's enough to just be aware, just a little more present. And if you want to explore these gentle reminders together, It's okay to subscribe. We can take it slowly, softly, quietly, just noticing, just being, letting life unfold with a little more warmth, a little more care. Maybe sometimes you feel small in the world, like your efforts barely touch anything. And it's okay to feel that. Life can seem overwhelming, and the world feels so big. But the Buddha would whisper gently, even small actions have meaning. Every smile, every kind word, every patient moment carries ripples that stretch farther than you can see. Maybe it helps to think of life as a river. Each choice, each act of care, is a little drop that joins the flow. Alone, it may seem small, almost invisible, but together, these drops make a current, and slowly, quietly, they shape the world around us. Maybe that's how meaning works. Not in grand gestures, but in countless tiny acts woven together over time. The Buddha's teaching reminds us, softly, that everything is connected. Our lives touch others in ways we don't always notice. A kind gesture might lift someone's heart without them even knowing why. A patient word might calm someone's fear. Even in moments that feel ordinary or unnoticed, we are shaping the world, shaping the hearts around us. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's all we need to keep walking gently. It's okay if life feels fleeting. It's okay if you haven't done anything great. The middle way reminds us not to chase extremes, neither despair nor blind hope. Life is short, yes, but every choice matters. Every act of care, no matter how small, matters. Maybe it even matters more than we think, because it carries forward in ways we can't see, like seeds planted quietly in soil. Maybe today you can notice one small act of care, one little choice that carries a ripple of kindness. Maybe it's as simple as listening, smiling, or holding back impatience. Maybe that's enough to remind you that your life is meaningful, even quietly, even softly. And if you feel like walking this gentle path together, noticing life slowly, softly, it's okay to subscribe. We can explore these quiet reflections together, taking one step at a time, letting life unfold with awareness, care, and a little more warmth in our hearts. Maybe sometimes you look at life and feel, everything changes so fast. Does anything I do really last? And it's okay to wonder that. Life is always moving. People come and go. Moments slip quietly away. But the Buddha would whisper softly, even in impermanence, your life has meaning. Every choice, every act of care, every gentle word creates ripples that linger, even if you can't see them right now. Maybe meaning isn't something far away, some big prize to reach. Maybe it's here in the way you live each day. Even ordinary things, washing the dishes, making tea, walking to the store, can be touched by awareness. If you do them softly, fully present, they carry a kind of quiet beauty. Thich Nhat Hanh often reminded us that mindfulness turns the ordinary into something sacred. Maybe that's what matters most, noticing life, moment by moment, and touching it gently with care. Even if you never reach enlightenment in this lifetime, it doesn't mean your life is wasted. Every kind choice, every moment of patience, every act of love matters. Each one plants a seed, and even if it grows slowly, it shapes the world in ways you might never see. Maybe helping a friend through a hard day, or listening without judgment, or offering quiet forgiveness. These small gestures carry more meaning than we often realize. Life is like a story, and each chapter counts. Maybe this chapter isn't perfect. Maybe it doesn't end with full awakening, but it's still precious. Every moment of care, every step toward kindness, every breath of presence adds light to your own path and to the paths of those around you. Maybe that's a heart of meaning, not in grand achievements, but in the quiet, gentle way we live again and again. And if you feel like walking softly through these reflections together, noticing life gently, it's okay to subscribe. We can explore life quietly without rush, with patience and care, letting each small moment remind us that our lives matter softly, gently, beautifully. Maybe sometimes you feel tired, like life is too much, like your efforts don't make a difference. And it's okay to feel that. We all have moments when the world seems heavy, when our hearts feel small and our actions feel almost invisible. But the Buddha would whisper gently, even your smallest acts matter. Even quiet moments of care, even gentle choices, ripple farther than you can see. Maybe life is less about the big achievements and more about the small, quiet ways we touch it. Maybe it's in the way you smile at someone who needs it, or the patience you give when someone frustrates you, or the kindness you offer when no one is watching. These small gestures carry meaning quietly, like a soft light in the dark. And maybe that's enough. Maybe it's always enough. Even when suffering comes, and it will, it can be a gentle teacher, not to punish you, not to make life unbearable, but to remind you of what truly matters. Maybe suffering asks us to slow down, to notice, to care a little more deeply. Maybe it nudges us to be present with ourselves, with others, with life as it is. And when we respond with awareness, with compassion, each act becomes meaningful. Maybe you've noticed that we are all connected in ways we can't always see. Every choice, every act of care touches someone else, sometimes far away, sometimes in ways we'll never know. That's the quiet power of life, the ripples that grow from our small, mindful actions. Maybe that's what the Buddha wanted to remind us. Nothing is wasted. Even one moment of attention, one kind word, one gentle choice matters. And if you feel like walking quietly along this path together, noticing the small light in each day, it's okay to subscribe. We can take it slowly, softly, step by step, noticing the gentle threads of meaning woven through our lives, letting life unfold with care, awareness, and warmth. Maybe now, after walking quietly through all of this, you feel a little lighter, a little more aware. And it's okay if it's just a tiny shift. Life doesn't always change in big leaps. Sometimes it's a gentle, quiet noticing, the soft breaths, the small acts of care that shape our days and quietly the world. The Buddha would remind us softly, life is short, yes. Impermanence is real. We all face it, sooner or later. And maybe that's exactly why life matters so much. Because each day, each moment, is an opportunity to touch something real, to be kind, to grow a little, to notice the beauty quietly unfolding around us. Maybe you realize something simple. Meaning isn't something far away. It isn't a distant prize. It's here, in the ordinary, in the everyday, in the moments that often feel too small to matter. Washing the dishes, holding the door, offering a gentle word, listening with attention. These are the threads of meaning woven through life. And maybe that's enough. Maybe it's always enough. Even when life feels uncertain, even when it feels fragile, even when we worry that nothing will last, your choices, your care, your awareness, they ripple outward. They shape the world softly, quietly, beautifully. Maybe that's what it means to live fully, not by chasing grand achievements, but by walking gently with love, presence, and attention. So maybe today, take one soft moment. Breathe. Notice. Smile. Be kind, even in a small way. And remember that every moment counts. Every act of care, every patient breath, every gentle choice. These are the true treasures of life. And if you'd like to continue exploring life this way, softly, quietly, without hurry, it's okay to subscribe. We can walk together, noticing the little lights, tending the small seeds of kindness and awareness, and letting life unfold with tenderness, clarity, and quiet joy. Because maybe, just maybe, that's what life is really about. Being present, being gentle, and letting every small act matter.